So overall, this week started off pretty straightforward, but now we have a brand new veto winner in the game, and now everything is about to get way, way messier. There are a lot of moving parts happening in the game right now, but don't worry, I'm here to break it all down. But before I get started with that, of course, I'm going to ask if you would please hit that subscribe button below if you have not already. Like I said, there are a lot of moving parts, and this game gets pretty complicated and sometimes hard to follow. And here on my channel, I try to give quick, succinct recaps on what happens on the live feeds day to day. The TV show just does not have enough time to show everything, so a lot of stuff gets missed in the edit. So if you are someone who is interested in a deeper dive as to what goes on in this game, then this is the channel for you, and make sure you're subscribed. Also, make sure you give this video a like for the algorithm too, and let's get started. So when we last left off, Lauren was the HOH and she was having a pretty tough time deciding on what to do with her nominations. The first two picks were pretty easy. That was going to be Keanu and Kelley, but it was that third that was giving her the most trouble. She was heavily considering putting up Will since he would be more of an easy choice since they didn't really talk too much game like that. But at the same time, she was also still in that bond alliance with him, so she was hesitant on putting him up too. So Lauren is going to start her morning by meeting with Will, and this conversation is pretty much just going to set the tone for the whole day. Now, the previous night, Will had found out through the grapevine that he was probably going to be a nomination, and that really made him mad, like he was super heated. And so he chose to go to bed early that night and just ignore Lauren, which I did say in my last video was a huge mistake. I think that if your name is on the chopping block in any capacity, you should always be very proactive with the HOH and you should get in there early. Will failed to do that, and that's really going to cost him because when Lauren goes up to approach him the next day, now Will has had the time to sleep on it and he has cooled off a lot. So while on one hand he doesn't want to go on the block, on the other hand, he's also not really going to argue or push for himself here either.
I'm not going to be the lowest one on the totem pole in terms of winning a popularity contest when there's so many other people that can go up and be the spawn. So, yeah. But it'll be smooth sailing. I'm not going to give you any drama. So don't even trip. Okay. You give me no mess. Okay. So don't even trip about that.
This just seems to be like an overall running theme this season where people aren't really fighting to keep themselves off the block. I mean, Adrian didn't do it, Amy didn't do it, and Will isn't really doing it here. I would actually give Keanu some credit out of all people because at least he made a case for himself with Lauren this week. And after this conversation that Lauren has with Will, she goes and cries about it afterwards, which tells me that if Will would have pushed harder for himself and gotten here early and, you know, let Lauren know before she had a chance to sleep on it, then it probably would have worked. Like, he probably would have avoided the block altogether. And I want to be clear, I definitely don't think that putting Will up is her best option. I mean, there's definitely other routes that she could take. And as the day goes by, people are going to suggest other options to her, but none of them are really going to stick. For example, Mickey tries really hard to get Adrian put up instead of Will. She is arguing that it just wouldn't be a good look for her to put up the oldest person in the house again, and that could fall back on Lauren.
I don't think you wanted this HOH to have a lot of blood on your hands.
Yes.
And I do think that it's a possibility putting up Will again, with him being the oldest guy in the house, of course, and being the pawn last week that really got dealt a very shitty hand up again. I could see people being like, okay, why would she do that?
Again, it seems like a big goal of Lauren's this week is to just be liked and not get as much blood on her hands. So this conversation is actually pretty effective at first. And for a second, she's thinking of nominating Adrian until Vince comes in and tries to redirect her back towards putting up Will. But then after that, Zach is going to come in and try to redirect her towards putting up Ashley, which honestly I think is the better move. I think Ashley is a really good option for Lauren because a lot of the people that are on Lauren's side of the house, which is Katherine and Zach and Vince and Rylie, they all would like to see Ashley up this week. Lauren is just too scared because she doesn't want to make Ashley mad or make any of her friends mad. But the thing is, girl, that's just what this game is. Like, this is Big Brother. All that fear, just leave it at home. Don't even pack it in your suitcase. Don't bring it on the plane. Don't bring it in that house. So eventually, Lauren gets back on track of nominating Will, which she doesn't really want to do, but the excuse that she keeps making is that Will just made it so easy for her because he didn't really talk or put up a fight or do anything when she told him. Lauren is eventually going to go and talk to Ava, who she really likes. Of course, these ladies are supposed to be in the bond together, and the night before, Ava was super duper pissed that Will was going to be an option for the block. But now Ava's had time to sleep on it, so now all of her anger is gone. And because Lauren has been walking around the house doing all this crying and stuff all morning, now Ava is just going to sort of coddle her and kind of sort of give her permission to put Will on the block. Again, Ava does not want Will to be in any danger, but she's kind of sort of just giving her blessing here. Like, she won't be mad at Lauren if she does this for her game. So when the feeds come back on after the nomination ceremony, we all see that Keanu, Kelley, and Will are all on the block together, and Will is not happy. He did not take being nominated lightly at all, and apparently after the ceremony, he had just some words to say to the house. Of course, we didn't get to see this on the feeds, and I don't think he was like yelling or cussing or doing anything crazy, but apparently he just made it very clear that he was not okay with being the house pawn this week. And you know, this is all great energy coming from Will now, but he really should have said all of this the night before, and I really have nobody but Will to blame for that. So other than all of that nomination drama, things are pretty much set for the week because Keanu and Kelley are the house targets for everybody, pretty much. So as long as nothing crazy happens with the veto, then things should be solid for Lauren, right? Well, on Saturday, the house guests all go off to compete for the competition, and the feeds are off for quite a while. But they eventually come back on, and when they do, child, literally everybody was gagged to see that Keanu has won the power of veto. Now, I hate this for the house, but I kind of love it for us because we at least get one more week of drama and mess, right? This like extra sucks for Lauren though, because now she has two people on the block and she doesn't really want either of them to go home, which unfortunately for her, she realizes like way too late.
I think anybody would look at it and think I'm stupid for not putting Ashley up. Adrian is an ally. Kelley is an ally. Nobody wants Will to go home. So why would those be my nominees?
So of course now there is a wide open spot on the block, and even though there is pretty much an entire open house full of people that Lauren isn't really working with, she is still just going to limit herself to two options: Adrian or Ashley. Because for whatever reason, this girl just has to nominate somebody else's sloppy seconds. Like, she's just too afraid to carve her own path. And for the record, I still think Ashley's a pretty good move from Lauren's perspective. I mean, she's not really working with her in any capacity. Plus, Ashley's low-key been getting on people's nerves. It's not really a bold choice because Ashley doesn't really have that much sway in the house, but it at least takes away a number from that opposite side. Adrian's name, in my opinion, should not even be a consideration for her, and it doesn't seem like she's gonna go that way. But then again, Lauren does low-key seem like the type to kind of be swayed easily, so who knows. As of right now, the nominations haven't happened yet, and there is still plenty of time for other people to get in her head, but as it stands, Ashley's still looking like the most likely option. And even though Kelley technically wasn't Lauren's target this week, she's definitely in a lot of trouble if she does not win that blockbuster. Last week, Kelley's social game was actually starting to improve just a little bit, but this week, I think just because she's more comfortable in general, she's just been doing this thing where she's trolling everybody. She's going around spreading rumors and just straight up lying and making up stuff just for the fun of it.
I've instigated a lot in this house.
Yeah.
And I have more instigations to come.
No, I think you should keep doing it.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's what makes the game the game.
It's fun. I'm loving it.
Yeah.
I was an instigator when I was little.
Yeah.
My mom called me instigator, so...
So Kelley just continues to make herself an easy target because people are like definitely clearly clocking what she's doing.
She says these things. She creates a conversation, plants a seed, and then goes says something to another person, but then says, "Don't say this to the person because I want to get more information for you." And I'm like, do you think you're playing a good game here? Like, this is bad. Pissing me off too.
So that is our main storyline for the day, but of course I'm just going to briefly talk about some of the other things going on around the house. In addition to possibly losing Ashley, things just aren't going great in general for the Morgan, Mickey, Rachel side of the house, which makes me really sad because this is my personal favorite side to watch, but people are starting to clock their game a lot. Rylie, Keanu, Adrian, Kelley, Katherine, they would all take that shot if given the chance. They are already down one with Amy, and if they end up losing Ashley this week too, just not looking good over there. And the last thing I want to announce is that Rachel and Ava have officially solidified their final two together, which is a little weird because it seems like they almost never talk game, but I think Rachel was able to clock that neither of them really had their person in the house, so now they at least have each other.
Like, double the fun. Like, double the fun.
Double the fun? Is that dumb?
It's kind of dumb, but I love it.
Okay. Are we double the fun?
Why not? I love it.
So that's all I have for today. Of course, I want to know, how do you think Lauren's HOH week is going so far? Do you think she's doing a good job, or are there better moves she could be making instead? Let me know in the comments below. No matter what happens with these nominations, I think this is going to be like the most I've ever been excited about the blockbusters this season. Lauren came into this week saying that she wanted to stay in the middle, which I just think is really ironic because it seems like her HOH is dividing the house more than anybody else's so far. Of course, I'll be back here sometime after nominations to let you all know what the official results are. But until then, bye.